Alright, so it's like 35 degrees, feels like it. I'm in the middle of the fucking the heat wave. Essentially the whole thing is my car randomly just starts overheating after about 30 minutes of driving it. It starts creeping up really slowly, so it's just confusing. Me and Vassal were on the phone for like, I don't know, like 30-40 minutes the other day when I was stuck on the side of the motorway because my shit was overheating. We were like, wait, but your thermostat is new, the radiator's not leaking, you've got heating inside the cabin, what the fuck, why is your car overheating? You know, we were sitting there for so long. He was like, after sitting for about, you know, half an hour on the phone, he's like, mate, your water pump is bad. I'm like, oh yeah, because that's like essentially the only thing I haven't replaced from the cooling system in this car. So because of that, I'm now replacing it today. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take the bumper off, take the radiator out, drain it all, move the clutch fan, remove the bolts for it, and then attempt to unbolt the fucking water pump. You need a 32mm wrench, and you need to, it's like reverse thread, so you need to tighten for it to unscrew itself. And you need a, like, sometimes, you know, depending on how stuck it is and stuff, you might need a like extra fucking like resistance to hold it in place while you unscrew it. And then yeah, so pretty much that's what I'm doing today, obviously by myself because there's no one about on a Saturday apparently. Okay, so this is what we're looking like right now. I feel like my car has looked like this more often than it's looked just sitting nicely on the side of the road. Yeah, so radiator's out, all the coolant's drained. Now it's not coolant, so excuse me for saying coolant, it's literally water. So this is gonna evaporate within the next 15 minutes. Apparently because my car was overheating, there was extra pressure built up, so when I opened it there was a bit of a fountain, but obviously wasn't filming for that. The alternator got a bit wet and the belt and stuff, but we should be alright. Yeah, if you can see it, it's like steaming. Yeah, I don't know if you can see it on camera, but yeah, this is what my radiator is looking like. Ignore this was just stupid me at the drift event thinking that the radiator was leaking, and so they sold me the radiator, put some silicone, but it wasn't actually leaking. So yeah, either way, we're good. Next thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take away those clutch fan bolts that hold these little bolts. I'm gonna take them off, and I'm gonna remove the fan so that I can then have access to that nut right there, if you can see it, which is gonna be my water pump. And yeah, hopefully it's good. All right, cool. So we've got progression. The big nut here, the one that's got all the marks on it, that's undone now. It was not actually that difficult. What I did was, so these nuts that hold the pulley on are a 10mm. So what I did was I put the 10mm on there with the closed side, and then in the open side I shoved the closed side to a 12, and I kind of used that as leverage. But because these bolts, to undo them you need to unscrew them like a normal person, instead of the way you need to tighten is to unscrew it. So essentially what I had to do is I had to place it to where it's leaning on the actual like nut that I'm undoing, so I could like press down this way with this hand to hold the pulley from spinning, while I then on this side use the big wrench to like push down this way. Basically just had to put all my weight on it, and it worked. It came undone. Like, this is loose now, I don't know if you can see. Tips for people doing this: just make sure when you're leaning over the whole thing and putting all your weight on it, when it comes undone, don't smash your face into the engine, because I was thinking ahead and didn't do that. And also be careful of the pulley down here, which your hand might slip into, like your knuckles. Like, don't hold the wrench closed fisted, but hold it open fisted, so that if, you know, it slips down, you don't like punch this and fuck your hand up. So yeah, you know, just looking out for you lot. All right, so a couple minutes later, excuse, like, I think next time I'm gonna bring my head mount so that I can just film while I'm doing shit, instead of, okay, I'm gonna do this, click my fingers, okay, it's done. Like, I feel like it's kind of boring, but I don't know, we'll see what I'm doing. Anyway, I forgot to say that I actually got new tires. So here they are, brand new babies, brand new NS2Rs 205/45 on a 16/8 ET23. I'm running no spacer this time because my rack is centered, and I'm hoping that at full lock my wheel doesn't hit the chassis. Haven't actually got to fucking drift it properly yet after the new tires. I've only done a couple skids just out of junctions and stuff, not actual drifting on a track. So in Mexico, that is, the junctions. Yeah, okay, so the bolts on the water pump are all out, all of these. Now I just need to figure out how to fucking pull it off the engine, basically. And yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. In the next clip, you'll see the water pump out. Yeah, so the water pump is out. Check this out though. There's like rust inside my engine. How cool is that? That's sick as fuck. This is some real 1995 shit. I guess my chassis is 95. This is a 94 engine. Anyway, yeah, so this is the pump. It looks not broken. It looks alright. It's really hot. And yeah, I hope the new pump comes with this fucking O-ring thing, because that's fucky. And yeah, I don't know. Wait. It makes a bit of like a crusty sort of like bad bearing sound, but I don't know, it seems alright. Let me see what the new one's saying. Yeah, I think I forgot to mention how I took the water pump off. So if you look, there's 3 holes on each side. The 2 top and bottom ones, they're for the screws that hold it into the fucking onto the block. And then there's the middle holes which are threaded. And I was just thinking, how, like, what the fuck is that? That looks like a really small bolt. I don't know where the hell I'm gonna find one. But the actual pulley bolts fit into those holes. So you screw the pulley bolt into the hole evenly on each side, and then it just kind of like slips off of the engine, and then you're good. So yeah, that's how you can get it off if you can't just pull it off by hand, which I don't think you should be able to pull it off by hand. I didn't film what it looked like with the new pump, but yeah, it was all good. Cleaned the pulley out because it had like about 2 inches of fucking dirt on it. So I cleaned that, put the pulley on. I'm about to put the belt on now, and then I'm gonna put the fan on. And then yeah, I'll probably just put the radiator on, the shroud, the radiator, and just try and bleed it. I bought some brand new fucking deionized water. Hoping that, you know, I can stop maybe the rusting process inside the engine, but if not, then it's alright. Anyway, it's all back together. I've got the radiator, the shroud. I need to put zip ties on it still. This hose had a bit of a scuff on it, the bottom one, so I put duct tape around it, but I don't know, whatever. It didn't seem like there was a hole. The radiator's filled up. It took about 7.5 liters, maybe, in a little bit, like seven-ish liters. So now I'm gonna attempt to bleed it, and hopefully it bleeds. There's no reason it shouldn't. If anything, it should lead faster and better now because it's got a new water pump. I'll get back to you on a little test drive probably, and hopefully it doesn't overheat. Yeah, by the way, nothing, like, it didn't fix anything, this new water pump. It could be that I didn't bleed it properly, but yeah, look at, like, that's what I turned the car off at. So yeah, it's not fixed anything. Okay, so this is the next day, and essentially what Vess and Vassal came up with, and then Vassal convinced me of it, is that my clutch fan is no good. I thought that as long as it was spinning just down here when the car is running, that means it's working. But apparently it could be that the clutch, like the fluid, all the stuff gets worn away. So in that case, it basically, as soon as your car gets to normal temperature, the fan doesn't kick on to keep it at that temperature. So then essentially the car just starts overheating a little bit, and that's basically what my car does. I drive it for about 30 minutes until it gets the proper temperature, and then it starts to creep up really slowly. And if I really stop and all the heat stays within the engine bay, it starts to go up even more. But if I go on like a motorway to drive fast at like 50, 60, it evens out to normal temperature again. So yeah, basically Vassel's engine fell out once. The fan blades exploded, and basically he took the clutch fan off and converted it to an electric fan. So now he just has this spare. So because he's not in town, his dad gave it to me. So yeah, I'm gonna take the fan blade off with these 10mm bolts, and then attempt to do the same on my clutch fan without actually taking anything apart. So yeah, I want to see how that goes. It looks like the shroud might be in the way a little bit, quite a bit, but we might just give it a go anyway. So yeah, let's see what happens. Okay, so I got it out. The fan shroud definitely was in the way, but there is enough space for you to just unscrew the whole clutch bolt out and still be spinning inside the fan shroud. So yeah, when that happened, it kind of let go, and then I could move the fan down and then pull the shroud out, and then pull the shroud, the fan out through where the shroud used to be. So yeah, what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna take this bolt out, these 4 bolts, and put this not broken fan blade on this clutch, fan clutch, whatever the fuck it's called, and then put it back in the car and then go for a test drive and hope that this bitch don't overheat no more. It's not even overheating, just the temperature creeps up. It doesn't actually, it's never overheated yet. It's just started running warmer. Anyway, let's continue. Okay, so the new clutch with my old blade is on. I don't know if you can see. What can you see? Yeah, you should be able to see it and not be threaded. I'll show you the method I used to screw it in last time. So you kind of just spin it, and because it's clutch, it kind of grabs the bolt and it threads it in as well. You can see that. So that's essentially what you have to do while it's still on. Like obviously after you break the nut, then just do the same process but the other way. This, it still unscrews itself. So yeah, and there's enough room within the shroud for you to pull it all the way out. But yeah, so right now I'm gonna finish screwing that on, tighten it as much as I can, and then take it for a test drive. So yeah, hopefully it's all good. I feel like I said this at the end of every clip, but yeah. Boys, it's fixed. Yeah, I've given her a full-on test drive for about an hour or so, and we fucking good, bro. Temp stays the same, and if I clutch in really quick after revving it, because my gearbox makes this fucking supercharger noise, so I can't hear shit from that. But if I clutch in quickly and silence the gearbox, I can hear the fan going ham. I can hear like a mad whoosh, like whirring sound. So that leads me to believe that this whole time it was the fan. So these, how much did I spend? About 50 quid on swapping the fucking water pump out were completely useless, because Vassel, oh no, oh that was almost a frame bang, because yeah, Vassel just had a spare one sitting about. So now that's on, and my car doesn't seem like it wants to set itself on fire. We're good. I think I'm just gonna drive it like this, even though I probably need to sort the brakes out still. Oh yeah, we did come to a conclusion about that. It is probably well, Vassel came up with it. It's a bad piston within one of my calipers, and it's quite obvious which caliper it is, because all of my discs are nice and chrome and shiny, you know, but except the rear right, which is just nice and rusty looking. So it's very bait. It's very obvious how the rear right caliper, piston, whatever, is not doing its job properly. So essentially what I'm going to do, because Vassel still also has some spares somehow. I think it's from the subframe I got for him from Joe. I don't know about them, like, because that subframe was sitting in Joe's garden for like about a million years, but it's alright. So yeah, essentially we're not really going to do much about that at the moment, but we can we now know the problem. So after replacing the servo and after replacing the master cylinder, it's now come down to it being brake calipers. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do. Probably next thing you'll see me doing is that, or potentially sorting out some body stuff, as in like fucking aero, because you know I'm bored of the way this car looks. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. The car is fixed after spending 50 unnecessary pounds, but at least now I know that my whole cooling system is brand new. Brand new because some of the parts are used, but they're working. So yeah, thanks for watching. Follow me on Instagram at @GetAClip. Follow RevCrew at RevCrew88. Follow Vaso as well, because he helped out quite a bit, at Vaso Dotchev. It's all in the description. So fuck yeah, dude, that's it. I'll see you sometime. What I mean, what is this understeer?